is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. I got a little bit of extra for you. I'm JD from New York, bringing you the latest in WWE news and rumors. Retribution on Monday night, one of the absolute biggest failures I have ever seen in WWE history, man. Retribution storyline on Monday Night Raw reportedly was met with laughter backstage at Monday Night Raw. WWE continued to showcase Retribution on Monday, but it was met with confusion and jokes from fans. Slipknot jokes, Foot Clan jokes from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Batman jokes, you name it, man. The fans on social media dragged this entire storyline and the reveal on Monday night. The show opened up and closed with Retribution. It was revealed that Retribution had signed with the WWE, and somehow that meant that they had free reign to do whatever they wanted. It should be noted that the stars in the group wrestled in NXT, which meant that they were already signed with the company. And I mentioned this on my Monday Night Raw review. If you guys want to go and check that out, man, one of the best rants that I've had all year. All you need to do is watch the first 30 minutes of that video, man, and I give you legitimately every illogical fucking piece of information coming out of this storyline, man. It is a classic. Go and check it out. They're already signed to NXT, but apparently they just signed WWE contracts. And even if they were new talent, why would WWE give them contracts after there was chainsaws and throwing Molotov cocktails and defaming the Performance Center and Monday Night Raw and SmackDown? Who gave them the contracts? Who willingly put contracts in front of these people? Was it Vince McMahon? Was it Stephanie McMahon? Was it Triple H? Is he assembling a rebel group of NXT talent to overthrow the main roster and WWE going on into the Survivor Series? Nobody knows, and you can thank our good old buddy Bruce for that piece of shit storyline on Monday Night Raw. Now, apparently, they have new deals because they've joined the main roster. Dio Madden, Mia Yim, Dominik Dijakovic were all confirmed for the group. The headliner was a six-man tag team match that saw the group battle the Hurt Business, only for it to end because several unidentified Retribution members ran down to the ring and a big brawl broke out. The three members in the match were introduced as Slapjack, apparently that is Shane Thorne, T-Bar, who is Dominik Dijakovic, and Mace, who is Dio Madden. And I ranted on this more than anybody in the entire community on my Raw review, man. Those names will absolutely kill. I said this on Monday. Those names will kill any hope that any one of them have of being a major player in the WWE. Now, WrestleVotes sent out a tweet today following the entire community's backlash on Retribution on Monday Night Raw. They sent out a tweet on Tuesday to note the backstage reaction to the way WWE portrayed the group on the show, and they say this on social media. Just talked to a source who was in the building last night, said the presentation of Retribution was a major topic of discussion, met with laughter at times backstage. A direct quote, "The masks and the names are already making the road for these guys impossible to climb," end quote. Now, I've been expressing for weeks that WWE needs to unveil these men and women and tell us who they are on Monday Night Raw. They did just that, but then they changed their names, which I don't think anybody really asked for. Now, I don't give a shit what you think about Dominik Dijakovic or Dio Madden or Mia Yim or Mercedes Martinez coming up from NXT, but those are the individuals, those are the names that you should have portrayed coming out of NXT on Monday Night Raw. None of why they are here makes any sense whatsoever. The fact that they signed contracts did not make any sense whatsoever. The fact that I've literally seen all of these men and women in the last month to month and a half on WWE television, and now they're under different names. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. They were always a part of the NXT developmental system, and now they are under these new personas. Why? Why? As if I don't know who they are or where they came from or who I was watching on TV, like I said, a month and a half, 2 months ago. This is completely a disaster. Everybody was making mention of this being a new Nexus. This is absolutely heading to where the Nexus was all of those years ago when John Cena killed the Nexus and Wade Barrett, everybody in that ring at SummerSlam all those years ago when they were set up to be a dominant faction in the WWE. Now, I don't know where this is all going. I really don't. WWE's feuding them with the Hurt Business. WWE apparently has a major Survivor Series main event planned with everybody in Retribution. But what good is it? What good is it going to do? If WWE has given us what they've given us now with Retribution, now we have to see another 2 months of this on WWE TV, and then we get to the Survivor Series, and what happens then? Are they going to win? Are they going to win? That's the biggest question on everybody's lips. Are they going to win? If they don't win, WWE will have killed, legitimately, they've already done it, they're well on their way there. They will have killed not only the entire faction, but every single man and female in that group dead, never to recover ever again. It's a laughingstock backstage. The names and the presentation are a laughingstock backstage. You didn't realize this before you sent them out there with them fucking masks? You didn't understand that this was going to happen when you sent them out there with those fucking names? Nothing about this makes any sense at all. The Hurt Business is feuding with them. Why? They're a heel faction. Who am I supposed to cheer for? I don't know. First of all, they're presented as a babyface faction. Then they're a heel faction because Apollo Crews went one-on-one with Cedric Alexander. And then they're back to being a babyface faction because they're feuding with Retribution all in the same show. I don't really understand it. Now, I did mention Survivor Series. I did mention that WWE's planning on a major main event for the Survivor Series. PW Insider's reporting that the word making the rounds over the weekend is that Retribution versus a WWE assembled team will main event the Survivor Series. Of course, we still have 2 months left, so whatever they have planned for Retribution will probably be dragged out for several weeks until November 22nd, the date of the Survivor Series show. So that is where they're going with that. Now, there's only 3 men. I have questions. There's only 3 men in the Retribution group. We got Slapjack, Slapdick, whatever the fuck his name is, T-Bar, and Mace. Are we going to add more males to the group? Is there going to be more additions to Retribution? My bigger question is, are they going to reveal a higher power? Are they going to reveal a new leader? Because from what I see, I can't see fucking T-Bar leading the group. That doesn't sound ominous or dangerous to me. Yeah, our leader T-Bar is leading Retribution. They need a major name, a major act. Maybe that is yet to come. I don't know. Maybe that is going to happen, but they need 2 more males to fit into the tradition of Survivor Series because Survivor Series is 5-on-5. We can't have Retribution being 3 men and 2 women competing against Team WWE comprising of 3 men on that side and 2 women. What would the sense be? What would the purpose of that be when we already have other Survivor Series matches and a women's Survivor Series match on the same show? It doesn't make any sense. And like I said, are they going into Survivor Series to win? What if they lose? They're dead. They're dead. And knowing WWE, undoubtedly, inevitably, they will lose because everybody's shitting on it. They know they fucked up. Nobody likes it. Everybody's ripping them to shreds because of the name and the presentation. They're laughing at it. It's nothing more than a fucking running joke now in WWE. They will take all of this and collect all of this information and then apply it to the Survivor Series and kill them before anything else is done to these guys. Survivor Series is the death of Retribution, when they should be, obviously, being a faction leading into Survivor Series. They should come out on top, beating Team WWE if that is the storyline going in. It's unbelievable to me, man. It really is unbelievable to me. I want to think that these people genuinely want to write good television. I really do. But I feel in my heart of hearts that there's no explanation as to why you would take 5 NXT talents and legitimately kill their careers like this in a span of 3 hours in one night on Monday Night Raw. I swear to God, man, I don't want to dive into the conspiracy pool, but holy shit. How are you going to do Triple H that dirty and take 5 NXT talents, one of which was in a major program for months with Keith Lee over the North American Championship? He got destroyed by Karrion Kross. You had Shane Thorne, who was on Monday Night Raw, coming up from NXT. Mia Yim has been a staple in the women's division. Mercedes Martinez was made into a big deal. They gave her a big presentation upon her coming back into the WWE. Dio Madden looked fucking impressive on Monday Night Raw. You have all of these men and women coming up from NXT, and you don't want me to think that somebody in WWE on the main roster, on Raw, isn't looking at NXT talent and purposely just ruining every aspect of what Triple H did with them in NXT and burying them on the main roster on purpose, because it sends a message to Triple H: look at what you've done in NXT. It ain't as good as everybody says it is. I don't want to dive into that conspiracy pool, man. I've said it once, I've said it twice, I said it 1,000 times. WWE main roster looks at NXT with envy. They look at NXT with jealousy. They don't want to see Triple H in any way, shape, or form succeeding. They always want him to fail. They don't give a shit about Triple H and his team, because inevitably, everybody in the community is looking at Triple H and his team as the ones to take over WWE and fix this obvious garbage every single week on Monday and Friday. They don't want that because they know they will be out of a job. Triple H's team does not like Vince McMahon's team, and vice versa. They look at NXT and they look down on NXT. They look down on all the talent. People in this company do not love professional wrestling. People that are running the main roster are there for all the wrong reasons. They're there for their own selfish gain and their own selfish financial fucking comfort. That's all they're there for. They don't give a fuck about pro wrestling. They don't give a shit about the talents that WWE have signed. They don't give a shit about watching these men and women grow and creating the next Rock or the next Hogan or the next Cena or the next Reigns. They don't give a shit about that. None of this matters. So why are you even here? Why? Something like what we seen on Monday legitimately pains my soul as a wrestling fan, man. I know I heard it from a lot of people coming out of the review on Monday. Everybody is legitimately embarrassed to watch this product. They're embarrassed to even mention to anybody that they're a fan of professional wrestling, let alone WWE, because this is the type of shit that we are getting every single week. WWE is giving pro wrestling a bad name every single week. We are sick and tired of it. There is no way that this should be at the levels of failure as it is right now, as it sits right now. There's no way. There's no way. This is why I bring to you, it has to be done purposely. There's nobody in this company that could absolutely sit there and say, yeah, let's send these guys out there like that with those names and it's gonna be big. Somebody fucked up and it was done purposely to give these guys just that feeling of failure. I stick to my guns on that, I really do. There's no way you can send these men and women out there and think that they're gonna succeed with those names and that presentation. Everything that was done because they don't give a shit. They wanted it to fail. They knew it was going to fail, and they took great pleasure in watching it fail. That's exactly what happened with Retribution. Survivor Series, I don't even think we should be talking about the Survivor Series, because before they even get into Survivor Series, they will be dead. Nobody will give a shit. Nobody takes them seriously. So why are you going to prolong this for 2 months? You might as well just fucking kill them off right now and spare us the pain of miserable 2 months of WWE Monday Night Raw television, man. This is one of the biggest blunders in my lifetime on Monday Night Raw. Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that everybody knows I enjoy a good cold beverage at the end of a long day, man, whether it's a nice craft beer. I even enjoy myself a nice cold glass of white wine, man, at the end of a long day. AEW's got their bubbly, and now WWE is getting into the cold beverage business as they introduce the first two limited edition wines. Yes, wines for The Undertaker and The Ultimate Warrior. I took this screenshot. Look at these bottles, man. Pretty nice, I gotta admit. Now, I don't know what these things taste like. I don't know what's in the bottles. Guessing that it's WWE, it's probably just as piss poor as Monday Night Raw. WWE Wines is now a thing. They are pairing WWE superstars with wines, and the public will soon get a taste of it. WWE and Wines That Rock are partnering up to release two limited edition runs of wine. Wines That Rock previously partnered with Kiss, Star Trek, amongst others. These are just the first two, and there could be, more than likely will be, more. The Undertaker is getting a 2018 Cabernet Sauvignon, and The Ultimate Warrior is getting a 2019 White Zinfandel. The Undertaker's 2018 Cabernet Sauvignon limited edition 30 barrel series to honor the Phenom's 30-year career. Each Undertaker bottle is marked with an individual bottle number, as well as the barrel it came from. The Ultimate Warrior 2019 White Zinfandel limited edition individually numbered bottle also features one of 3 unique corks produced with different images and sayings from the Ultimate Warrior himself. Now, the first thing that I thought of was how much of WWE's audience even drinks wine. Probably not many. You got a bunch of fucking pimply-faced virgin geeks out there just idolizing Alexa Bliss and stalking Sonya Deville, man. I don't think they look like the wine drinkers to me. So, if you guys want to go and check these out, if you want to go and get yourself some collectibles from WWE Wines, you can get both bottles for $100, man, $50 each. They'll ship them right to you. I'm getting both bottles. I'm doing a wine tasting on the podcast, and I'm going to make it damn entertaining, man. And if there's anything that I know, it's cold beverages. So I'm going to give you guys my honest take on what they taste like. Now, I'm not a fan of a Cabernet Sauvignon or a White Zinfandel. If you give me a Sauvignon Blanc, then you speak in JD's language. But either way, man, a cold beverage is a cold beverage. I will never turn down a cold beverage. But if you guys want to go and get these wines and you want some Ultimate Warrior and Undertaker collectibles, sounds like a good deal to me, man. Go and pick up your WWE Wines. They'll be shipping in November. So go and do that and let me know what you guys think of WWE's first venture into the cold beverage business. Speaking of doing business, I talked about this on Friday Night SmackDown's post-show on Off the Script. Melina Perez seems to be doing business with the WWE once again. I don't know why, but this is typical WWE. Let me dip into the past's cookie jar and pull out another random name that I think is somehow gonna help the women's division in 2020. I don't really understand that you got a plethora of talent on the main roster that you're not using to its full potential. You got all these women in NXT, most of which are absolutely ready to be called up to the main roster, yet you want to go out and get Melina. For what? I'll talk about that and why it's a shitty decision in a little bit, but she blasts the dirt sheets about her return to the WWE. She posted this on Facebook. Now, I'm not going to read all of this nonsense that you're looking at right now, but she reacted to reports claiming she's re-signed with the WWE, although she refuses to rule out the possibility. That's all I need to realize that she is indeed signed with the WWE. Now, reports of Melina returning to the WWE were so abundant at the end of last week going on into the weekend, everybody had assumed she had actually re-signed with the company. But when she went on Facebook, she refuted all of the reports coming out about her resigning, she says, I am not signed with the WWE, but that doesn't mean it is not a possibility, end quote. Now, I mentioned this on Friday. People were blasting Meltzer about it. Oh my God, it's just another Dave Meltzer false report. He gets everything wrong. Blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. As if it's fucking Meltzer's fault that this report got out. First of all, geeks, Meltzer mentioned nothing about this at all. Meltzer's living rent-free in your fucking heads. How does it feel to have a 60-year-old wrestling analyst go out there and just live rent-free in your heads every single day? It must be great for Dave Meltzer, and I'm happy for him. Now, this was actually reported by Mike Johnson of PW Insider, not Dave Meltzer. Mike Johnson had source after source after source after source. Multiple sources backed him up and gave him the report about Melina re-signing with the WWE. Word got out, people were tweeting about Melina. She's seen all this activity with her trending, and oh my God, she's seen all these reports. And then she wants to come out and blast the dirt sheets about a false report. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. Your news got leaked. They have a job to do. Why wouldn't they put the news out there if they have credible information about you or anybody else? These are subscription services. People pay someone like a Meltzer or a Mike Johnson or anybody else in this business for news, early news that nobody else will have, nobody has access to. That's why these guys get paid. This is their job. So you're asking for these guys, these men and women who work on these sites, to take subscriptions, get news from credible sources, back it up with multiple sources like Mike Johnson did, and then you don't want him to report the news. I am trying very difficult to try and figure this out from Melina's point of view. I don't really understand it. So shit got out. I'm sorry. The best thing that Melina should have done was not say anything at all. Edge came out and looked like a blithering fool when he came out and said, I'm not returning to the WWE, don't even ask me. So when you go on social media and say something like that, then clearly we know you're coming back. If you weren't coming back or you didn't want to hear about the rumors, then don't address the rumors. Melina should have did the same thing. She will be back with the WWE. Now, I don't necessarily think this is a good decision. I don't see how this is going to benefit Melina at all, except financially. They'll probably pay her handsomely to come on back. But I mean, she has been gone for how long? What does she expect to do in the women's division? WWE is simply going to go out there and get Melina, take her away from somebody else, another promotion, and then bury her upon arrival. She was with the WWE, she left the WWE, went to go make a name for herself in multiple other promotions, doing multiple other things, and now you want to come back home and use everything that you've acquired for yourself away from the WWE in the WWE again and make your name bigger. It doesn't work that way. So Melina coming on in, man, I don't really see the difference between a Mickie James and a Melina Perez coming on into the WWE. What has Mickie James done in the WWE once she returned to the company? She had that one match with Asuka at NXT TakeOver Toronto, and what happened after that? Absolutely nothing. The same thing will happen with Melina Perez. Fucking bookmark this video and timestamp it. I'm telling you right now. And what does it do for WWE to go and get Melina Perez when they have so many women on the roster right now, on the main roster that they're not using, in NXT that they're not using, that they have to go back into the cookie jar of the past, pull somebody's name out, have it be Melina, bring them to the main roster, and then actively take a roster spot away or a spot on the show, a higher spot on the show away from somebody much more younger, much more athletic, much more qualified for that position, and have them have Melina take that spot from a Bianca Belair. or a Peyton Royce, or anybody that they want to call up from NXT. It doesn't make any sense, man. You're adding another female that you're going to do nothing with on the main roster. I don't see how this is going to benefit the women's division in any way, shape, or form. And then people want to blast me for being negative, folks. I'm sorry that in 2020, negativity equates truth. I'm sorry. This is an absolute waste of money. This is an absolute waste of a roster spot. WWE doesn't need Melina, and Melina looks like a fucking idiot because she went out there and refuted this. So when we see her back on television in about a month or two, then we know that she was full of shit, and that everybody else that does this same tactic, we know that they are full of shit. And the last couple of stories before we get the hell on out of here, man. A rare unmasked photo of Rey Mysterio has been shared online. Conan posted this picture earlier in the week, as you guys see on the screen there. While it's not likely Mysterio has never been seen without a mask before, he even wrestled without a mask in WCW. Recent photos such as this don't get out very often when it comes to Rey Mysterio, unless they are posted by Mysterio himself. Conan didn't add a caption to the photo, but it did receive multiple replies from a couple of notable names, such as Road Dogg, who wrote, and I quote, "What a cool pic of familia," end quote. Bro, dog, listen, I'm gonna need you to stop surfing Instagram and get writing. Get busy writing NXT and give me a good television show on Wednesday night, because the more you surf Instagram, the more NXT becomes like Monday Night Raw, and we don't need any more Monday Night Raw on Wednesday night, you fucking geek. Get off Instagram. NXT, I hear, isn't doing too well in the demos. Moving on. Mysterio is currently out of action and is also expected to be out at least another month, maybe longer, after suffering a partial triceps tear. Dominic has been on WWE TV regularly since his debut at SummerSlam last month and teamed with Humberto Carrillo in a number one contenders three-way tag team title match for the pay-per-view on Sunday, man. Mysterio unmasked. It's not like we haven't seen this before. I just figured I'd throw it on in there. Mysterio and Dominic and Rollins and the entire Mysterio family are probably in the second biggest storyline on WWE TV right now on Monday Night Raw. And that is it. I just wanted to show you guys Rey Mysterio unmasked. Let me know what you guys think about that. And finally, Jackson Ryker of the Forgotten Sons. They took their name legitimately, and they are now forgotten, man. It didn't take them long. The Forgotten Sons may be finished, as if we didn't know that already. That doesn't mean that they are being released, but if and when they return to WWE programming, they may be split up or repackaged. Now, there has been talk of them being repackaged because what Jackson Ryker did actively affected everybody else in the group. They were just ruined after Jackson Ryker was blasted on social media. So Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler, they had to suffer for Jackson Ryker's crimes. Now, Dave Meltzer noted in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter that even before they were taken off TV, there were people in the company who felt that the Forgotten Sons gimmick was probably not the right thing to do and put it on television at the time. The unrest in the country would certainly make it harder for WWE to justify bringing the gimmick back to SmackDown on Fox. The group also consisted of Steve Cutler, like I mentioned, and Wesley Blake. They have not appeared on WWE TV since Jackson Ryker's pro-Trump and anti-Black Lives Matter posts on social media in early June. This week, Ryker may have dug a bigger hole for himself when he sent out an anti-mask tweet. At the time of the initial tweets, the group was in the middle of a push and they were feuding with The New Day. But based on his Instagram post, as you guys see there, Ryker seems eager to return to SmackDown, but it's worth noting that there were people in the company, including wrestlers, who were not happy about his comments on social media. Blake and Cutler distanced themselves from Ryker's comments back in June. Now, I don't know where they go with this. Riker is not good at all, so I don't know what the fuck they plan on doing with him. He didn't do anything even while in the Forgotten Sons. He was nothing more than a henchman and a bodyguard. When he was in the ring, he was sloppy. There was nothing special about what he did in the ring at all. The real talent is in Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler. Those are the guys you need to get back on television. Jackson Riker, he could fucking piss off for all I care, man. The other two guys are who you need back on SmackDown. Put them back in NXT. They need tag teams down there. They're suffering just as much as Monday and Friday night. Or if not, repackage them, get some aid from NXT, get some aid from Triple H. He packaged them to begin with the Forgotten Sons gimmick. Get them back on TV and merge the fucking tag team divisions on the main roster. That's the only solution there. Two talented guys that were on their way to probably becoming the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, all ruined by a fucking fool in Jackson Riker, man. Get the two other guys on TV and keep Jackson Riker away from my television screens permanently. I just don't give a shit. Guys, I'm getting out of here. If you enjoyed the video, I was going to say the podcast, not really a podcast, more like a long-form video, man, giving you guys news and rumors in the WWE. If you enjoyed that, let me know what you think down below. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Go and check out the Monday Night Raw review from last night. It is a doozy, man. One of the best rants that I've had on the podcast all year in regards to Retribution and how big of a failure that group really came across on Monday night. Everything else you might have missed, link down below in the description of this very video. And again, please follow me on Twitter, man, at JD from NY206 on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you guys so very much. Hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you right back here on Wednesday with live AEW Dynamite coverage on the post show right here on Off the Script. Until then, guys, take care. I'll see you right back here for AEW Dynamite tomorrow night.